Welcome back to CIA Declassified. During the Cold War, the philosophy was often bigger is better. We built massive rockets and city-leveling warheads. But in the shadows of Langley, the goal was the exact opposite. They wanted to shrink the power of the sun so it could fit into a piece of luggage. This was Operation ZEST. It was the pursuit of the tactile atom, a weapon that could be carried by two men, hidden in a locker, or left in the trunk of a car to neutralize an entire port or mountain pass without a single plane in the air. The idea of a suitcase nuke sounds like a Hollywood thriller, but for the special forces and the agency, it was a terrifyingly real blueprint. The primary weapon under Operation ZEST was the Special Atomic Demolition Munition, or SADM. It weighed less than 60 pounds and had a yield of up to 1 kiloton. A quote from a declassified 1960s training manual: "The two-man team must be prepared to remain within the blast radius until the timer is set, ensuring the device is not tampered with by enemy patrols." End quote. Agency operatives trained in the Alps to ski down mountains with the nuclear unit strapped to their backs, simulating a mission to destroy key Soviet tunnels. The CIA developed submersible casings for these devices so they could be planted in harbors to destroy enemy fleets from beneath the waves. Operation ZEST included testing at the Nevada test site to see if the electromagnetic pulse of a small nuke could be used to fry the electronics of a single building without destroying the city around it. A quote from Bill Creech, a former Air Force general: "We were looking at a weapon that would turn a commando into a strategic force. It was the ultimate equalizer for the outnumbered agent." End quote. The declassified files reveal that the agency successfully miniaturized the firing mechanism using a new solid-state trigger that was resistant to cold and humidity. Training for ZEST involved blind drops where agents were parachuted into remote areas with dummy nukes and told to navigate to a target without being spotted by local authorities. By 1968, the agency was investigating nuclear landmines that could be buried near borders and triggered remotely via a long-range radio signal. A quote from a declassified 1972 security audit: "The primary risk of Operation ZEST is not the detonation, but the theft. A single lost unit is a global catastrophe." End quote. The CIA developed a decoy system where they would move hundreds of identical suitcases across Europe to mask the movement of the one real device. The declassified files show that Suitcase Nukes were briefly stationed in West Berlin as a last resort, scorched earth measure if the wall was ever breached. Research was conducted into enhanced radiation versions of these portable nukes designed to kill people with neutrons but leave buildings intact for the agency to occupy later. The backpack nuke teams had a life expectancy of less than 30 minutes in a hot war scenario, leading the agency to recruit agents with no remaining family ties. Operational breakthroughs in plutonium shaping allowed the devices to be thinner, eventually fitting into the spare tire compartment of a standard sedan. The agency used Geiger proofing, special lead-lined foil that prevented the radiation from being detected by Soviet border sensors. The declassified files confirm that several ZEST units were successfully smuggled into a mock city during a secret exercise to prove the U.S. Capitol was vulnerable. CIA chemists worked on synthetic isotopes that would decay so rapidly they would be untraceable within a year of being manufactured. The trigger safeguards included a triple key system, meaning the agent in the field could not detonate the device without two codes sent from Washington. Project ZEST eventually influenced the creation of the nuclear football, the portable command center for the president. In 1974, a secret audit revealed that the SADM units required a physical dial to be turned while wearing thick lead gloves, making the deployment process a clumsy, high-stress race against radiation exposure. A quote from a 1965 field operative log. "The weight isn't the problem, it's the hum. When you're huddled in a ditch, that faint electronic vibration feels like it's shouting your position to the entire Red Army." End quote. Operation ZEST researchers attempted to disguise the nuclear components as everyday office equipment, including a prototype housed inside a functional, heavy-duty electric typewriter. The declassified files document a nuclear courier program where agents lived in major European cities for years, keeping the suitcase nukes under their beds in rented apartments. A quote from Robert Oppenheimer, contextualizing weapon size. "The problem is not just the bomb, it is the accessibility of the bomb. A weapon that fits in a pocket is a weapon that fits in a shadow." End quote. While the history books talk about the SADM, the archives contain a folder labeled Unaccounted Core Inventory. It is 100% redacted, nearly. What happened to the prototypes? Why is this classified? Get ready for the theory of the fallout founders. Speculation suggests that Operation ZEST successfully miniaturized nuclear energy to the size of a coin. Theorists claim these aren't weapons, but silent reactors hidden in the basements of every major U.S. city. The redactions allegedly hide the power grid maps that show the CIA can turn off a city or vaporize it by remote control if the population becomes unruly. What if they're already in place? A dark rumor suggests the agency lost 10 of these suitcase nukes during the 1980s. This isn't just a mistake, it's a dead hand protocol. The speculation is that the redactions hide the Geiger counter maps that show these nukes are currently located under the seats of government in Europe, and the US is acting as a silent hostage for the deep state. Could they be in your house? Some believe the redactions hide Project Hearth, where the agency disguised many nukes as standard household appliances like water heaters, and the black ink hides the serial numbers of the families being watched. Listen to the ghost cargo theory. It suggests the redactions hide a fleet of 500 nuclear homeless agents who wander the world with nukes in their backpacks, and the black bars protect their walking routes. Is the nuke alive? A wild theory suggests the redactions hide Project Chernobyl Chilled, where the agency bioengineered agents to carry the radiation in their own bone marrow, and the black ink covers the harvest dates. Is there one on the moon? Gossip suggests the redacted manifests include Operation Lunar Leash, a suitcase nuke planted on the Apollo missions to act as a reset button for Earth, and the black bars are the coordinates. The counterfeit core theory claims the redactions hide the fact that the CIA sold fake, non-functional suitcase nukes to terrorist groups to track their funding, but the black bars hide the names of the terrorist partners. Could it be your phone? Some believe the redactions hide Project Pocket Thor, a discovery that 5G towers can activate the lithium in smartphone batteries to create a mini nuclear blast, and the black ink mask the manufacturer list. The subspace rumor claims the redactions hide evidence that the suitcase nukes don't actually explode but fold the target area into another dimension, and the black bars are the inventory of vanished cities. Some whisper that the redactions hide the identity of the ZEST master, an agent who has been carrying the same active nuke for 40 years and is now more machine than man, hidden somewhere. Could the clouds be watching? One fringe idea suggests the redactions hide Operation Silver Lining, where the agency released microscopic nuclear dust into the atmosphere to act as a global antenna, and the black bars are the signal strength charts. Check the sewers for the Undercity theory. It posits that the redactions hide a secret railway of suitcase nukes that move constantly between major capitals to prevent satellite detection, and the black ink hides the subway schedule. Is it a mental weapon? Some speculate the redacted pages describe Project Atomic Dream, a method of using low-level radiation to transmit thoughts directly into the brains of sleeping subjects, and the black bars are the broadcast scripts. Watch for the core tap rumor. It claims the redactions prove the agency used suitcase nukes to blast tunnels into a hidden inner world, and the black ink protects the diplomatic treaties with the residents. And lastly, could it be in your blood? A terrifying theory suggests the redactions hide Project Isotope Infusion, where the nuke was miniaturized to a cellular level to be used as a biological kill switch, and the black bars are the patient ID list. Was Operation ZEST a success? Tactically, it was a frightening success. The agency proved that you could move the deadliest force on Earth through a bus station without anyone noticing. Strategically, it was a disaster of paranoia. The realization that these weapons existed forced both the US and the Soviets into a state of constant alert that almost triggered a nuclear war by accident dozens of times. By the 1990s, the portable atom was deemed too dangerous to keep, or so the public was told. As far as technological and operational breakthroughs go, seeking the smallest sun led to the giants of modern tech, such as micro-encapsulation, innovations in housing dangerous materials that eventually led to better hazmat suits and medical transport, remote detonation encryption, the birth of the secure long-range burst transmissions used by modern drones, miniature shielding, the development of lightweight materials that block radiation now used in satellite electronics, and logistical ghosting, perfecting the art of moving high-value, high-risk assets through civilian infrastructure without a trace. Operation ZEST taught us that power isn't about the size of the explosion, it's about the size of the shadow it casts. A nuke in a silo is a deterrent. A nuke in a suitcase is a nightmare. As you walk through a crowded airport tonight, looking at the thousands of bags rolling past, remember, the agency once tried to hide the end of the world inside one of them. Thanks for listening. Join us next time. We are going to examine Project Redcap. The agency took the lab to the field. We'll uncover the secret test of chemical agents on foreign soil. We'll look at the yellow rain, the contaminated crops, and the psychological effects on unsuspecting villages in the danger zones. Join us next time for The Poisoned Path. In the meantime, I'll see you in the archives.